Hello, students. Good morning. This is a class for BA Part 2nd, and we are doing the final part of Ode to a Skylark by P.B. Shelley. I am Dr. Anil Dadhij, and in the first two parts, we studied the poem in detail. In the beginning of the poem, the poet welcomes the bird. He seems to be fascinated by its melodious voice, and he tries to give a vivid portrayal of nature as well as the flying of the bird in the poem. Actually, he presents a very beautiful background to the skylark singing and its joyful singing. And this joyful singing inspires the poet to write this beautiful ode. He yearns, he wishes to know the source of the bird's joy. He compares the skylark with various images through so many similes and metaphors. He compares the bird with rainbow clouds, a poet hidden in his thoughts, a high-born maiden, a lady born in a rich family, aristocratic royal family. Then he compares the bird with a glowworm, golden, and then he compares the bird with a rose also, and then the melody of the bird singing is compared with the spring showers, the rain of in the spring season, and ultimately he wonders, he wants to know about the theme of its song. This is actually the romantic suggestiveness when he wonders about the theme of its singing, and he compares with human sources of joys like the marriage songs or the songs on the admiration of wine or victory in war, and uh, the nature. When the poetry is often written on nature, and this kind of poetry is very spiritual, very objective, and very, you can say, this is one of the best kind of poetry where there is no personal loss or pain. So uh, what love of thy own kind, what ignorance of pain. Actually, the poet wants to know ki how can there be so much of joy in a bird's singing. He must not be aware of pain. He must be ignorant of human pain. And ultimately, the poet reaches to a conclusion that there are some hidden wants or lacking in our songs, in the human songs. But the bird song, he finds that it is pure, it is clear, and very keen in its joy. There is no shadow of annoyance in it. And he says कि he must be experiencing a love of its own kind, and he does not know of the sad satiety of human love. And we have done the poem up to this. Now we begin where we left yesterday. Waking or asleep, thou of death must deem. You must deem. Deem means cogitate, meditate, think, consider. You must be considering of death, waking and asleep, or you do not think about death in the same manner as the human beings think. Actually, human beings are more afraid of death. They are more uh, attached to life, and they do not know the deeper truths of death, perhaps. That is why the poet says, waking or asleep, you must be considering of death and things which are more true and deep than we mortals dream. We human beings are mortals. We die. And death is actually very horrendous to us. We are afraid of death. And we mortals keep dreaming about certain things, but we are not aware of more true and deeper things. The poet becomes very philosophical here, and he says, if the bird is able to sing such beautifully and joyfully, so there must be something of a philosophical knowledge that is more true and more deep than the mortals. Otherwise, he says in the last line, or how could thy notes, how could thy songs flow in such a crystal stream? There can be no such crystal stream. Stream means flow. The crystal clear stream of songs cannot flow without having such a deeper and truer philosophical knowledge about life and death. The poet imagines. And now he compares the human lot. He says, we look before and after. Before is past, after is future. So we look before and we look after. We keep thinking about our past and we keep thinking about our future. We look before and after. And what do we do in our present? We pine. Pine means yearn. उत्कंठा रखना, इच्छा रखना, विश करना, डिजायर्स से भरा हुआ रहना. तो we pine for what is not, what we have not acquired. We always keep thinking about, we always keep yearning or desiring what we have not achieved. So we keep thinking about past, we keep thinking about future, and we live in the present with unfulfilled desires, with the awareness of unfulfilled desires. And then the poet gives a very often quoted line, our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Fraught means filled. Our laughter, a state of happiness. Our laughter or laughter भी कौन सी state का? Our sincerest laughter means when we are most sincere in our happiness. हम जब खुश होते हैं तो खुशी की वो जो पराकाष्ठा है, जब हम बिल्कुल सिंसियर हैं, ऑनेस्ट हैं, बिल्कुल सिंसियरिटी के साथ हम एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, इवन देयर some pain is fraught, some pain is filled. Why? Because we are aware of past, we are aware of the future, and we are aware of this yearning for what we have not achieved. So even though, and when we are aware ki we are happy in the present moment, but this happiness is not lasting, ये खत्म हो जाएगी. मे बी दिस इज द पॉइंट of observation which can fill us with a certain tinge of pain. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये पेन की अवेयरनेस हम में हमेशा रहती है, इवन इन आवर sincerest laughter. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thoughts. And this is one of the most quoted lines from Shelley's poetry. You should remember this line. Our sweetest songs are those, हमारे जो सबसे स्वीट गाने हैं, मतलब मोस्ट मेमोरेबल और मोस्ट चेरिस्ड सॉन्ग्स, जो सबसे ज़्यादा चेरिस किए जाते हैं, जो सबसे ज़्यादा आप अपने उसमें रखते हैं कि दीज आर माई मोस्ट फेवरेट सॉन्ग्स, दे आर दोज दैट टेल ऑफ सैडेस्ट थॉट्स. द सॉन्ग्स ऑफ हैप्पीनेस आर एक्चुअली पासिंग. वो आप कभी मौके पे व्हेन यू आर हैप्पी तब मे बी यू लिसन टू देम. बट हमारे जो बेस्ट सॉन्ग्स हैं, स्वीटेस्ट सॉन्ग्स हैं, जो जो पैरेनियल है, जिनकी वैल्यू यूनिवर्सल है, और यू कैन से टाइम जिसको लिमिट नहीं करता, ऐसे जो सॉन्ग्स हैं, दे आर सॉन्ग्स विच डिस्क्राइब, विच टेल मीन्स डिस्क्राइब सैडेस्ट थॉट्स. जो ट्रेजिक है, that attracts us more, that appeals us more. So therefore the poet says our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. Yet if you could scorn hate and pride and fear, if we could scorn means uh, repudiate or avoid. If we could avoid hate in our life, hate is such an emotion which makes a person very very negative. And actually we are talking about joy. Actually we are trying to analyze what are the objects of the joys, pure joys of this bird, that he is able to sing in such a beautiful manner, melodious manner. तो ही सेज उस पक्षी के जैसा गाना कब हो सकता है, या उस पक्षी के जैसी खुशी कब मिल सकती है? तो वो कहता है इफ़ वी कुड स्कोर्न हेट। अपने जीवन में अगर हम हेट एलिमेंट को स्कोर्न कर सकें, अवॉइड कर सकें, विच इज़ इम्पॉसिबल। वी नो वी हेट सर्टन थिंग्स इन लाइफ। हेट इज़ वन ऑफ द important, or you can say unavoidable, inescapable emotion in life. So if we could scorn hate, if we could scorn pride, दूसरा जो बहुत important क्या है, pride. We are always filled with a sense of superiority or inferiority. We are always aware that कहीं ना कहीं किसी न किसी से वी आर सुपीरियर. तो दिस फीलिंग ऑफ सुपीरियोरिटी, फीलिंग ऑफ बेटरमेंट, या यू कैन से द फीलिंग ऑफ कंपैरिजन with others, it gives you, it fills you with a sense of pride. And this pride brings comparison, and comparison will always bring you a sense of, you can say, negativity. Because जब आप किसी के सुपीरियर हैं तो someone else will become superior, will be superior to you also, and that will be a reason for your unhappiness. So if we could scorn hate and pride, and third thing is fear. ये तीन इमोशन हैं जो पोएट रिमार्क करता है, अंडरलाइन करता है, और वो कहता है फियर. फियर इज दैट इमोशन. फियर स्टॉप्स यू फ्रॉम डूइंग सो मैनी थिंग्स. जीवन में बहुत कुछ आप करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन फियर स्टॉप्स यू. सो फियर विल नेवर अलाउ यू टू बी प्योरली जॉयस, प्योरली हैप्पी. अगर आपको प्योरली हैप्पी होना है तो कहीं ना कहीं you have to scorn, you have to avoid from your life these three emotions the poet has shortly listed: hate, pride, and fear. So, if these are there, you cannot be purely happy, he wants to say. If we were things born not to shed a tear, अगर हम ऐसे प्राणी होते, इफ वी वर क्रिएचर्स हु वर बोर्न नॉट टू शेड ए टीयर, मतलब we would never be unhappy, we would never have a chance to shed tear. हम रो नहीं सकें, रोए नहीं, ऐसा अगर हमारे जीवन में हो तो if we were things born not to shed a tear, I know not how thy joy we ever could come near. Even then, the poet says, even then it will be very difficult to imagine कि our joy could ever come near you. मतलब it would be comparable to your joy. He says, I have no idea कि तुम्हारे जितना खुश हम तब भी हो सकते थे क्या, when we could avoid hate, pride and fear, and the sadness that we will never shed a, we will never need to shed a tear in our lives. Now he talks about the song of the bird. He says, better than all measures of delightful sound. मीजर्स कहते हैं मीटर्स को, जो छंद होते हैं पोइट के वो. तो all the meters of delightful sound, उनसे भी better than all the treasures that in books are found. And all the treasures, सारे खजाने that are found in books, wisdom of man is, you can say, treasured in books. So better than even those books, your skill to poet were your skill to poet were. So we have to read this line first and then rest of the upper lines. Thy skill to the poet were, तुम्हारी जो स्किल है, स्किल ऑफ सिंगिंग अनप्रीमेडिटेटेड, पहले सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, ही इज सो हैप्पी. सो योर स्किल टू पोएट वर बेटर देन ऑल मीजर्स ऑफ डिलाइटफुल साउंड. योर स्किल टू द पोएट, पोएट के लिए अगर कुछ इंस्पायरिंग हो सकता है तो वो क्या हो सकता है? द स्किल ऑफ द बर्ड. The skill of bird will be more inspirational, better than all the meters of delightful sound and all the treasures that are found in books. Thou scorner of the ground. वो कहता है you have scorned the ground, you fly in the sky. That is to say, he is away from this earthly existence. इससे ऊपर उठना, धरती के जो भी सुख दुख जो भी हैं उनसे ऊपर उठने वाले के लिए द पोएट हैज यूज द वर्ड स्कॉर्नर ऑफ द ग्राउंड. ग्राउंड पे जो कुछ भी है, ही इज बाउंड बाय द ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स. तो ही इज एबल टू escape this. He is able to scorn the ground and therefore he is able to sing in this pure, joyous environment. And the poem reaches to its culmination, to its climax, when, after so much of admiration to the song of the bird, the poet ultimately makes an invocation. He makes a request. He urges to the bird. वो bird को urge करता है, request करता है. क्या कहता है? वो कहता है teach me, O bird, teach me half the gladness, half of your happiness that thy brain must know. Whatever your brain knows, whatever you know about life, about death, about everything, so whatever your knowledge is, because that knowledge comprises pure happiness, gladness. So teach me half the gladness of your brain, such harmonious madness from my lips would flow, the world would listen then. Then मतलब तब, अगर आधी भी खुशी the poet would be able to know, then what will happen? The world should listen from my lips. मेरे lips से पूरी दुनिया सुन पाएगी. तब क्या? Such harmonious madness. Such means of same kind of harmonious madness. Harmony और madness दोनों join किए गए हैं. It's a beautiful phrase that the poet has comprised. Madness is actually a state of, you can say, ecstasy that the poet wants to communicate. So it is actually the extreme of harmony. The poet says, I will be able to portray a harmonious madness in my songs. So such harmonious madness from my lips would flow that the world would listen then, as I am listening now, just as I am listening now from you, O bird. जो मैं अभी तुमसे सुन रहा हूँ वैसी ही harmonious madness I can translate, I can interpret, I can write, and the world would be able to listen to that. So he says कि I am not invoking you, I am not requesting you to give me half of your gladness for my own sake. अपने लिए नहीं. He wants to share this harmonious madness with the world. वो दुनिया के साथ शेयर करना चाहता है. He wants that the world should also come to know this harmonious madness, and therefore he requests the bird to teach him half the madness that his brain knows. That is all. This is a beautiful poem. Students, read it again and again. Try to go in the depth of the words and the similes and the metaphors and the phrases, and you will definitely like, and it will remain with you for rest of your life. So enjoy the poem, and thank you very much for listening patiently. If you have any queries, if you have any doubts, you can call me, you can WhatsApp me. Thank you very much.